Welcome back to Next Gen Investing. It's now time for FOMO. And today we are discussing a tech name moving firmly to the upside. That is Micron. Although has given back about $5 or $6 off of its session highs, it's still having a pretty nice day, all things considered. So joining us now to discuss more is Caroline Woods, senior markets correspondent for the network. So Caroline, I have to imagine that anytime you're in the same sentence as an Nvidia partnership, it's good news. So walk us through this.
Yes, if you're an Nvidia partner, you win, and that's clearly the case for Micron today, as you set off the highs, but Micron's still up another, call it 4% right now. The memory chip maker, of course, is bucking the downtrend. It's the best performer on the NASDAQ today, one of the best performers on the S&P 500, and that's likely thanks to Jensen Huang. Now, Nvidia's CEO gave his keynote in Las Vegas at CES last night. There were a lot of expectations about what he would say regarding Nvidia in terms of the ramp of Blackwell chips and, of course, the next generation Rubin chips. Not a lot of details given there, hence why Nvidia shares are lower today. But Huang did unveil new gaming chips, the GeForce RTX 50 Blackwell series of chips, and said that Micron is providing the memory for the GPUs, and that's likely what's giving Micron a boost today. Huang described the GPUs in the new chip series as just a beast, said that the G7 memory from Micron of 1.8 terabytes per second is twice the performance of the last generation, and they now have the ability to intermix AI workloads with computer graphics workloads. So not just giving a call out to Micron, but really touting the strength of those, and Micron shares are gaining in response. Micron and Nvidia have long had a partnership, but investors clearly excited about this and really just adding to gains that we've been seeing from Micron. If you take a look, now up about 15% this week, up 23% so far in January, so really off to a really great start. Now, we did see Micron shares get that huge pop after Taiwan's Foxconn reported record fourth quarter revenue yesterday as well, driven by demand for AI servers. So that's a good sign for AI infrastructure. Micron makes high bandwidth memory chips, so they're needed for processors. So they're poised to be a beneficiary. And earlier this year last year, Micron's CEO said that its high bandwidth memory, the kind used in AI chips, is sold out through 2025. But that being said, Micron disappointed with guidance a few times last year, most recently just in December, and we've seen the stock get hugely punished for that, including that big dip in December. So potentially, investors could be looking at this as sort of an AI value play as well, and finally buying that dip. But it's a strong start to the year for Micron. Obviously, a long ways to go, but 24%, 23% pop year to date, not bad.
Yeah, Caroline, I was kind of looking at this stock, given the kind of hype around AI and semiconductors. And of course, earlier on in 2024, this was one of the big winners. But the second half wasn't so friendly to Micron investors. Seems like analysts probably haven't had enough time to react to this news just yet. But broadly, it does seem like the majority of those analysts remained pretty steady despite the sell-off in the second half of the year and kind of maintained those buy equivalent ratings. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, when we first saw, I think it was back in June, Micron delivered disappointing guidance. The stock got hugely punished, and then again in December. So we have seen the median price target for Micron come down, but it still shows about more than 20% upside from current levels. The median price target is 125. And yes, if you take a look at the breakdown, 85% of analysts or so have a buy rating on shares. There's 39 analysts that cover the company, and 33 have a buy rating. There's only one sell on the street, so then only a few holds as well. So the majority definitely bullish, but Micron, failed to impress at first with inline guidance, and then very disappointing guidance in December, and that's really what weighed on shares. That was very much around other parts of the business, though, in terms of sluggish PC refresh cycle, also the smartphones business, and that seems to be what analysts were really homing in on, because if, back in December, Micron had said, we continue to gain share in the highest margin and strategically important parts of the market and are exceptionally well positioned to leverage AI-driven growth to create substantial value for all stakeholders. And it seems like investors, at least so far, in this new year are very much focused on that AI opportunity, and of course this partnership with Nvidia as part of it.
Yeah, I think you made such a good point, though, the way that they were sold out almost, entirely of their high bandwidth memory chips. And that to me was as optimistic as you could get, but that didn't translate into any performance as far as like upside in the last year. So maybe this is Micron's year. I think that those that have held on to this name are probably growing impatient. So hoping for more of this upside to continue, but appreciate it. Caroline Woods, senior markets correspondent for the network. And of course, now we look at trading this name, Alex. And actually, I was saying we haven't pulled back much from highs. We are continuing to weaken here, still though firmly at 4% on the session.
Yeah, still a nice day. Obviously a struggle for the overall market. It's not going to be easy to rally in a backdrop like this, but I looked at a bullish strategy similar to what we just looked at in DoorDash. And so what we're looking at is buying a call vertical spread, bullish strategy. In this case, similar expiration, January 24th. Just a few weeks out, looking at the 110, 115. So this is fully out of the money. You're really only doing this if you really think there's going to be a substantial rally in Micron in short order. But this is the FOMO segment. And so I set up something that has 4 times the profit potential on the risk. So chance to make $400 on $100 in risk, but you're really going to need some help from the market. The market break even for this particular strategy in Micron would be 111 at expiration. So you'll need a pretty nice rally of about 10% to really be in that profit safe zone, which not impossible for a semiconductor name, but just want to make sure that we're level setting expectations here. There's a reason you can make 400 and you only have a risk of 100, and usually that means that you're not looking at the most high probability of strategies.
Yeah, I think a good point there and a good way to leave it here, as this name has pulled back about 34% from its recent highs. So gosh, it's been a slow burn to the downside, but thankfully it's now off of lows by about 30.7%. So we are attempting to recover here in Micron shares and obviously having a nice session today. But we'll leave it there for FOMO. Now coming up next, it's time to look at Carvana, which is the name that's always on the move. Today is no exception. We're up 7% following some of that recent weakness regarding a short report, and we'll discuss why the street actually is still pretty optimistic on this name, at least as far as one analyst today is concerned.